Welcome to the Episcopal Church of the Holy Communion. Thank you for joining us for this sermon. You can find all of our sermons at holycommunion.net and our Facebook, YouTube, and podcast channels. Consider hitting like or subscribe. Consider sharing this sermon with others. It helps us to reach more people like you. We are so thankful to those who support our ministry. You can give today at holycommunion.net/give.
May the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
Oh, leg.
May I have my elders' permission to speak?
Amen.
I'm Rudy Nickens, senior warden, not preacher. I'm Rudy Nickens. Happy to be here in this role, freaked out to be here. It's a joyful honor to get to be here in this role, to kick off this series of our Black History Month celebrations at Holy Communion. I decided that I didn't have to worry too much about anything going bad because I'm with my family. And with family, you're always safe. So I'm just going to hang out and talk with my family for a few minutes. In the reading, Matthew said to us, "You are the salt of the earth. But if salt loses its saltiness, will it become salty again?" As we enter this celebration of Black History Month, let's talk about our salt. Y'all saw that note our rector sent out when he wrote that he doesn't know anyone saltier than Rudy Nickens, right?
I stand behind it.
Mirror, mirror. For some, that actually might not seem complimentary, but for me it is high praise. One of the legacies of Black history, Black culture, Black life is flavor. The essence of soul food is seasoning. Seasoning is what transforms kale from garnish to greens. And greens mean something to us that can't be defined. If you don't know what it is, I cannot teach you. It would be like trying to explain the statement, "She put her foot in that pot," and explain why toe jam is really a good ingredient. But kale and collards and mustards and turnips, when met with the genius of Black soul, are no longer just dark leafy vegetables. They become greens. Sometimes I have to turn to other sources to understand things. So I turn to music. I turn to the song "Salt" by Liz Wright. And Liz Wright said, "How can you lose your song when you have sung it for so long? How can you forget your dance when that dance is all you ever had?" She answered herself, "You cannot separate the two. It's impossible to do. Just like the salt in the stew, it's all a part of you." Our reading from the book of Isaiah commands us to shout loudly, don't hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet, announce to my people their crime. Clearly, the expectation is that we plant ourselves firmly and help lead people to an understanding that the things that are taking place all around us are taking place in our names. Any bit of silence must be understood as participation endorsement, and collusion. So for this Black History Month, I invite you to find the saltiness of your voice and let it guide you to change the world around. Yes, I am salty. I know a little bit of the seasonings that are part of the season of my formative years. You see, I was born in 1955, the year that Emmett Till was murdered. His story flavored my life. Every Black mother of every Black boy of my childhood carried Mamie Till's grief and pain in ways that no other people of our nation could ever fathom. So we, the sons and daughters of those women and men whose very existence was defined by the heinousness of Jim Crow, who lived through the pain and indignity of centuries of lynching, we got doses of the pain-flavored seasonings, fear, worry, and hopelessness. Our rector sometimes would make fun of the ways that my fears showed up. But when you're a product of the assassination generation like I am, when you regularly bore witness to state-sanctioned murder as the response to Black people attempting to assert our rights to exist, one of the consequences can certainly be developing a difficult time believing in hope. But the pain-flavored seasonings is not all we got. We also got huge amounts of the life-sustaining soulful seasonings of resistance, resilience, and righteousness. We were the first to publicly declare that Black is beautiful. We were the first to say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. We offered contradictions to long-held beliefs that we couldn't create things. Kwanzaa exists because of us. Kwanzaa exists because we realized that everybody else was making up holidays. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we have holidays that affirmed our dignity? We use the flavors, salt included, that our ancestors gave us. Yes, I am salty. I strive to use those life-sustaining seasonings above the ones that keep us sick and tired. Like Fannie Lou Hamer said, I too am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I prefer the bouquet of flavors that have the magical quality of being both our buoy, lifting us up and helping us soar, and our anchor, keeping us grounded, connected to our roots and our ancestors. Black History Month isn't something every Black person celebrates. Some of us wish that the lives, stories, and contributions of Black people would be woven throughout the entire curriculum all year long. But even as we are witnessing today, every attempt to achieve this is met with right-wing resistance, with some states enacting legislation and policy forbidding the instruction of Black history. So while we are working toward that goal, and it is progress, for me, my entry into this conversation was as a child celebrating Negro History Week, and now we have Black History Month. I am excited too about Holy Communion's commitment to this. The next 3 weeks, the speakers will bring stories of Black lives and Black liberation and Black leadership to us that I hope that will change us as well. I'm excited about each of them, and each of them will add their flavor to the journey. Black people occupy every dimension of human diversity, and it is important to recognize this. So during Negro History Week, we talked about 5 people, Black History Month, we added to that. But I want to make sure that we continue to add more names to the lives and legacies of people worth celebrating. So I'm going to offer just a few today. I celebrate Bayard Rustin, James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, Essex Hemphill, Joe Beam. Each of these men lived revolutionary lives because, as Black gay activist Joe Beam taught us, Black men, loving Black men, is the ultimate act of revolution. The history of America would not exist without Black gay men. We've served as civil rights leaders, revolutionary artists, labor organizers, scientists, politicians, and educators. And our impact has touched every part of this country. I'll share a few of their words. Essex wrote, "I love myself enough to be who I am." He also wrote, "I am dying twice as fast as any other American between 18 and 35. This disturbs me, but I try not to show it in public." Langston wrote, "Hold fast to your dreams, for without them, it is a broken winged bird that cannot fly." James wrote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." He wrote, "To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage most of the time." Bayard, "Surely I must at all times attempt to obey the law of the state. But when the will of God and the will of the state conflict, I am compelled to follow the will of God." When an individual is protesting society's refusal to acknowledge his dignity as a human being, his very act of protest confers dignity upon him. Today, February 5th, is the birth date of Trayvon Martin. He should be celebrating his 28th birthday. But just like Emmett Till, he suffered death and was murdered by the laws in the hands of white supremacy as a teenager. So my closing prayer today is to offer the petition that I heard quite often as a young person growing up in my life. Protect innocent Black boys the way you protect guilty white boys. La lucha continúa. Our work must continue. Happy birthday, Trayvon. Amen.